Hi, everybody. It's Judy Seeker here, your host for Women's Longevity Summit. So happy to have you guys on here for the wonderful speakers that we have talking about how do we get older and stay healthy and strong and vibrant. And today we have an awesome guest. Kim Dechert is on the board. Thank you so much for being on here, Kim. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited, Judy, to speak with you today and to dive into how women can age smarter.
I know, right? And so here we are. I've been actually stalking you for quite some time on TikTok. I know you don't know that, but I love your demeanor. You have this very calm, you know what you're doing, even though I know you don't 100%. I know you're not perfect, but you sure come across like you've got a lot of wisdom and experience. So I just follow you all the time, and it's really cool. So that's why we're doing this. For those of you who are watching, the speakers on here are really experienced. They have gone through this stuff, and Kim is no exception. She has been through it and has some great stuff. We're going to talk about her 3 tips for aging, especially in midlife. This is where we're at, right, Kim? This is the best time in our life, so it's really fun.
Absolutely.
So Kim, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're the midlife coach, but tell us more about what that is. Yeah.
Sure. So I started as a fitness instructor. I fell into fitness actually, I don't know, when I was like 32 or 33. The step instructor did not show up for class, and so this was at the YMCA, and the director came up and said, "Hey Kim, you want to be our next step instructor? We'll train you." And I said, "Okay." So I fell into teaching fitness classes, and I loved it. I love teaching step aerobics. If you remember step back in the day,
I
that
do.
was a hot exercise program. And over the years, I took many trainings in weight training, in Pilates, in yoga. I got my 200 RYT, and also with the ball, the exercise ball, BOSU, turbo kick, body pump, Zumba,
Oh,
all the
wow. We got
fun
lots of questions to
exercises.
ask about those exercises, and getting your expertise on what you think works the best for us as we're aging. It
Sure.
certainly is not what the
Oh,
boys are doing with those HIIT stuff and
mhm.
CrossFit. Oh my God, I cry looking at them. It's too much.
Yeah.
And then you also do the nutrition part, right? So you get into the
Yes.
gut health and all that. So
Yep.
was it because something that you
So
had gone through?
that's a great question. So I did not, when I turned 60, I had an epiphany that there was a better way to age, because I also taught silver sneakers, which is for the older population, 65 and over. And I would see people come into my class, God bless them. They were there, they were coming to work out, but they were frail. They were bent over, they were weak, overweight, just a lot of things I saw that I thought, well, I'm not too far from that age, those ages. And what's the secret? What can we do to age better? There's got to be something that I don't know about. And I thought it's got to be nutrition, because I had the exercise piece. So I took a deep dive into nutrition. And actually, in my 50s, my menopause was having migraines, brain fog, constipation, low energy, even though I was teaching classes, and a lot of forgetfulness, which really bothered me, because I remember I went to one yoga class. I forgot my yoga mat, and I was the yoga teacher. So anyway, I took this deep dive into nutrition, and realized that how much food affects us, and that food is our medicine. Because I actually was able to I did a 90-day program where I gave up gluten and dairy, eliminated sugar, actually eliminated fruit, because fructose can mess with our hormones. By
Oh,
day
we got
45.
to dive into that. That's really an
Okay.
important point. So let's circle back to that. So
Sure.
you learned all
Like,
that and saw what worked and
yes.
didn't work for you, right?
Mhm. Well, and what I found was by day 45 of this, my migraines were completely gone, and I was having 3 to 5 migraines a month, with
Wow.
talking to a neurosurgeon, or not my neurologist, taking all the medicines, blah blah blah, trying to get rid of my migraines. Nothing worked, and he told me, he goes, "Kim, you just got to learn to live with these." Well, anyway, I got rid of it after 45 days. I was like, I wanted to cry, because I thought this was so simple to do this with food
And
and
that's what
no
people don't,
medication.
that's for the hope. I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is what people don't understand. They go to these dudes, nothing against male doctors really, but they just don't
No,
listen and understand the hormonal issues that we go through. And they just say, live with it.
yep.
And I'm like, you go live with it. What's wrong with you? So, so
I
let's get
know.
into the, yeah, let's get into the gut health
Yeah,
because that is a big topic
sure.
and we could deep dive into that. Why is it important to understand as women in our midlife about gut
Mhm.
health that is so important? What are you finding, Kim?
Wow. Okay, that's a great question because gut health is the root of our entire overall health. So gut health is basically everything between our mouth hole, pie hole, and our other hole. Basically everything there. We've got all tons of bacteria, good and bad bacteria that we have in our bodies, and our gut. We want to keep our good gut bacteria healthy because that's what sends our hormones are like little messengers that go out from our gut telling your body what to do, what they're supposed to do. And I always use this quote like, if our gut ain't happy, our hormones aren't happy, nobody's happy. So we really need to focus on our gut health in order to help our hormones, in order to help our overall health. And maybe many of you have heard about the gut brain axis. Our gut is connected to our brain health as well. And brain is connected to our gut. So we want to keep that gut brain axis working and happy and healthy as well. So feeding our good gut bacteria the best nutrition and fuel that
Super
will,
important. Yeah, we hear
yeah,
you.
will keep you on the right track. I mean,
So let's
it
talk
boils
about
down
the
to that.
bad stuff that people don't do correctly, and then we'll go into, of
Yeah,
course, the positive solutions. So what are some things that really damage the gut health that eventually, like you just said,
yeah,
can cause problems in our brain? Because dementia,
sure.
of course, is something we're all concerned about, Alzheimer's. So what are the bad things? Let's go bad and let's go good.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, ultra processed foods. We can talk about that. And what I'm talking about, and especially the Western diet, the standard American diet, aka the SAD diet, and they've heard that term, um, consists of a lot of ultra processed foods, convenience foods, fast foods, things that have a lot of seed oils in them, which do us no good. Seed oils are man-made oils that have been so heavily processed that our gut does not, they're like kind of turn into like a fake food. Our gut does not know what to do with them. So seed oils, number one, and the hateful eight this is a good way to remember them. The three S's are soy, sunflower, and safflower oils, and you'll see those in a lot of products. Look for those. The three C's are canola, corn, and cottonseed oils. And then the other ones are grapeseed oil and, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. The last one. But anyway, there's eight of them. They're hateful eight. If you Google it, hateful eight, you will find all the seed oils we should avoid. Canola oil, I just learned that's a big one used in a lot of foods. They're changing because people are learning that canola oil is not great for us. They're changing the name to its original called rapeseed oil.
I
So
know.
if you see have you heard that? Yeah. If you see
I
rapeseed
have, and
oil,
I
please.
hate the name. We all hate the name as women, and never mind that they're changing it back over to that, but it's still the same. It's
Right.
not good for us. It's a seed oil, like you said. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
And then plus
Yeah.
it's not fresh and all those things. So when
Yeah.
people eat those hateful eight, I love that. You're not going to forget that. You want to stay away from that. What are some of the symptoms that happen with women that in their gut
So
that is an issue?
that's a great question. Leaky gut, if you've heard of leaky gut, is kind of a non-medical term, but it's where our gut has a lining, but it's like a sieve, where it allows nutrients to go out to our bloodstream. Well, that sieve or think of a window screen, a tight window screen mesh, but it starts getting holes that the things that aren't good for us, like the canola oil, artificial sweeteners also
Mm.
can poke holes in that screen and let molecules out that are bigger, the particles bigger out, and that's not good. And that's what causes like leaky gut issues that people have and it could be IBS, it could be all digestive issues, all sorts of things. Um, it's it's a big deal, and gluten also can be damaging to our gut health. 95% of our 96% of our crops are sprayed with glyphosate, and so again, that does not do our gut any wonders either. So we want to avoid gluten as much as possible, unless it's organic wheat, hopefully not sprayed, or farms close by that are sprayed. But our current food system does not set us up for success.
No, and the women,
unfortunately.
we get affected mostly because of our hormones, and it gets so frustrating because it seems like a vicious cycle. We know we're supposed to eat better, and we try, and then we still get these reactions because the
Mhm.
type of food, the sprays, like you said, the way they're processed. So
Yep.
we know this, and we're looking to always rebalance the hormones. But if we could get the gut working and balanced, so what are you finding are some practical things to balance the gut on the daily?
Yeah. Great question. Whole Foods. If you're familiar with the Environmental Working Group, they have a list of the dirty dozen top crops that are sprayed with glyphosate to avoid the buy organic. You don't have to buy organic everything, but those are the 12, the top 12 they recommend buying organic. That's like strawberries, um, your peppers. And you check the whole list. There's a lot on there. And then they also have the 15 that fresh 15 or something, it's called something 15, Fab 15, where you don't have to buy those organic. And it's really nice to know that because veggies are if veggies are really good for us, obviously phytonutrients, antioxidants, we want all those. But we want a balanced diet, we want diversity in our gut. The recommendation is actually 30 different plants a week, and that includes veggies, fruits, seeds, nuts, spices. So it's not just all plant food, but or vegetables. But that's one of the recommendations. Eating a wide variety of animal proteins as well help our gut. And so it's a matter of eating basic. It boils down to whole food that's not treated, highly treated.
And
Does that make sense?
everybody who's listening, pay attention. I haven't heard you say once, and I don't see it on TikTok either, where you say, "Oh yeah, paleo is the best, keto is the best," and all these things. It's not that. It's you're really focusing, and I want people to hear that on the quality of the food. Some have to be organic as much as you can, but look at the
Right.
quality, how it's processed. So look, I know people are going to ask, and you're the person to ask. Give us a rundown, just like a few things for your meals that people could get an
Hmm.
idea for their gut health that would help breakfast, lunch, and
Yeah.
dinner. They're always asking me that's not my jam. I'm like, listen, eat it simple. Just have your proteins, fats, and carbs, and that's it. But for gut health, you kind of want to watch a few things. So, what have you, in your experience, Kim, have you found for the meals? Have you found that are
Yeah.
simple, easy, and good for you?
Sure. And I like simple and easy too.
Yeah, we all do
I'm
at this age, right?
not a fan. I'm never really like to cook. I did when our kids were home, but it's like
Right,
my
right.
husband does most of the cooking now anyway, but so that's nice. But I like simple and breakfast. I really rotate between three breakfasts because I'm actually eating very protein forward because when we get to talk about muscle, you'll know why. But so for breakfast, and I would do like either a protein powder with I do MCT oil for brain health, walnuts for brain health. I make it an unsweetened organic soy milk because that gives me 7 more grams of protein, and soy is actually healthy for breast health, not like the bad science we heard before that soy is bad for breast health. I can talk more about that too. But yeah, like I'll do I call it a loaded shake where I get 30 plus grams of protein plus healthy fats plus fiber. And then, or I discovered another new breakfast I love. It's 3 eggs scrambled with a half cup cottage cheese.
Oh,
And that gives, again, over 34 grams of protein. Make this very satiating and super tasty as well.
it
And
is.
then
Did
another
you
one
see
I do,
that trend on TikTok about the cottage cheese and the eggs and you blend it and then you roll it out and then it's kind of like you can make it into
like a
wrap
pizza
or to
crust.
crack. It is so good, you guys. Oh my gosh.
You
It's so
made it?
simple. I have, and I love it. It's super simple. Whip it up in
Ooh,
5 minutes, put it in the oven. 30 minutes later, it's done. Yeah, it's a 1 cup of cottage cheese, 1 or 2 eggs, and then your salt or
that's
whatever
excellent.
seasoning you want. No, it is
Yeah,
very cool. But you reminded me the eggs and the cottage
yeah,
cheese because
yeah,
protein and fat really satisfies you. So I love
yes.
that combo. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. So that's another one you can do too. I'm going to try yours. Um, and another one I do have a chia seed pudding recipe, which gives me actually 44 grams of protein and
Oh,
25 grams. Fiber is our best friend right now.
yeah. Oh
So
my
at
goodness,
the
we
minimum
need the
is
fiber.
25. Yeah, we need 25 grams of fiber at least a day is a recommendation. And we are woefully low on that. It's
Yeah.
not sexy to talk about fiber, but fiber is like our friend. So, so that's like, those are 3 easy breakfasts that I rotate through. Lunch can be easy. I can do like a salad, or I do eggs. If I haven't had eggs in the morning, I can do hard-boiled eggs with a salad, or I always try to mix up my salads, different lettuces, different veggies and stuff I throw together. Dinner, we usually have a protein. It's usually like an animal protein, chicken, or we love filet. We do salmon, really good for your hormone health as well, those omega-3s. So I try to do fatty fish. I do sardines too. I'll have sardines at lunch. Actually, that's easy.
I
Sardines
do
are an
too.
easy.
Me and you, girl. I love
Yep.
sardines. People don't realize how good they've got the omega-3 6, 9 in there. It's super easy. You could have it with
Yep.
bone, without bone, and you just whip it up.
Yep.
And then you can even add a little mayo if you want to it, and then put it on some rice crackers. Boom.
Yep.
Those are fun. And then so whatever you do for lunch could be for dinner, basically. It's just I want people to
Yeah.
hear that your simplicity. It's proteins, fats,
Well,
carbohydrates, but lots of protein to load up
yes.
and get you
Yep.
satisfied.
Exactly. And another, I just thought of another one I like to do, especially when we're traveling, when we're out at, on vacation. I'll do a can of sardines. I'll mash them with either a half or a full avocado. And then I add sauerkraut in there, which is fermented food, which your gut loves fermented foods. I mash that all together, and it doesn't look pretty, but it is so yummy. And sometimes I'll put cherry tomatoes in it too. It's like whatever I have on hand. But it's like
I'm
very
gonna do
filling.
that one. That's really good. I love sauerkraut, and adding that, oh,
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
same.
I love that one.
So
Okay.
again, gut health food, you're getting your fat, your fiber, your protein,
Yeah.
done. Boom.
Yeah. And there's a big push right now for women in our 40s, 50s, 60s actually to get more protein. And these are all excellent ideas to get them in. Now, some of the people who are on here are going to say, well, but we're vegan and we don't do the animal protein. I know that I used to do some things for them, but you got to really get enough beans in. That's the big one, and certain grains. But then you got the weight issue, right? But you have to balance it out. I mean, that's what I find, right? Kim, what do you find?
It is a little bit harder to, well, what I've read and understood, it's a little bit harder to build muscle with just plant proteins, but you can do it.
Sure.
Edamame, your beans, like you were talking about. Another little one is hemp hearts. 3 tablespoons of hemp hearts are 10 grams of protein. Plus, you get the omega-3s in there, which is great. You can do it. I mean, every little plant, veggies, most have some like 1 or 2 or 3 grams of protein, so you can do it, but it can be a little more challenging.
Yeah.
And so if you can do a plant-based protein powder too, that would be a great way to get more of your protein in.
Yeah, my favorite one to recommend is spirulina. That is a gem. Yeah, it's excellent. It really gets into there. Okay, so there's so much we could talk about food probably all day. And I know people ask questions. That's fine. We'll direct them over to you at the end. We'll tell everybody how to get a hold of you, and we'll talk more about your program. But in the meantime, let's do muscle health. I'm super excited about this because I just had a knee injury last year and I had to have a little minor surgery this year. And I'm looking like, okay, I'm ready to build up my muscles again. And I watch you and I'm like, you guys, you need to see her TikTok, Instagram. This woman is in shape. She's not just doing this talking bit, like she is in shape. So spill the tea. Tell us.
Yeah.
At this age, walk us through some simple ways to start our exercise program for strength, for muscle health. And then let's get into the, a little bit more advanced.
Yeah. So muscles are our organ of longevity. Think of muscles as your metabolic Spanx. Think of muscle as
metabolic Spanx. I love that.
Yeah, I stole that from somebody. Think about muscle as your best friend, because it's active tissue. When you build your muscle, when we're not really over fat, we're under muscled. When you build muscle, you are doing so much for your body. You're helping your metabolism increase because your muscles stay active after you've worked out. You're still burning calories even when you sleep. When you're working out, when you have a program going on. Muscle just helps with your functionality. It helps you do everything better. It just gives you empowerment. That's what I feel the most when I'm strong. I feel so empowered. So
Yeah.
I'm 67 now, and I went through 2 shoulder surgeries back to back in 20 and 21, and I felt I lost all my upper body strength.
Yeah.
And so and I do home workouts. I don't go to the gym, but I just work out at home. And I have found that just whatever is heavy for you, start there with weights, just using dumbbells. You can use a resistance band. There's other things, but your own body weight. But I have found that being consistent, working your full body at least 3 days a week, 2 is okay, but 3 is better on non-consecutive days. And I get a workout done in 30 to 40 minutes, 45 maybe sometimes.
Wow.
But I
So
don't want to
three
spend a lot
times
of
a
time.
week, 30 minutes at a time. I love that. But okay, here's
Yeah.
the thing. I have been an athlete my whole life, and then I hit 60 and I lost the motivation, right? I had frozen shoulders, similar to you, all that stuff.
Oh,
How do
yeah.
we get back? Let's get into the weeds here because this is very real issue, Kim. You know that
Yeah.
women have either they're not big into exercising, and we all hate the gym basically at this age. Uh, so what can motivate us? Like I do it now because I know I want my knee to be
Yeah.
better, so I could do things.
Right.
But what are some things that could help motivate us? Like you're giving us wisdom about strength
Yes.
training and how important that is as we age. But what can motivate us on the day to day or week to week as we're doing the
Right.
exercise?
Well, it's a great question. That's a great question because I have long-term goals and short-term goals.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
long-term goal is I want to dance at my grandkids' weddings when I'm in my
yes.
80s and 90s. You
Yes.
know, I want to be functional. I do not want to age like my mom just turned 90. She's very frail. God
Yeah.
love her. She didn't really exercise. Same with my in-laws. They're 92 and 93, and they're very frail and they're just not very functional. And I don't want to age like that. So I look at that and say, okay, how do I not age like that? So that's one thing that keeps me going. Short-term goals. I just had my second son's wedding in April. So I was like, I wanted to look good in that dress. So having those having those short-term goals too, and then having the long-term goals. And if you have a reunion coming up, if you have a wedding or whatever celebration or event, think you that can be a good short-term goal
I love
to
that.
get you going at least.
Yeah.
And then don't stop. You're going to develop those habits, and you're going to be able to continue, and then continue your health. And I'm inspired. So I'm 67. I follow some women on Instagram that are
You
older
too.
than me who look
I know.
amazing. They're 72, 75.
I know.
Miss Ernestine Shepherd, she's 86, I think now.
Wow.
She's a great one. I mean, there are women, and there's another lady, she's 92. She's doing everything. She's walking upright. She's going to the gym. She's doing yoga. She can get up and down from the floor without help. I'm like, I want to be her when I'm 92. So,
Well, that's what I do. I watch them. I'm the same as you. I have a list of them that I watch to see what their workouts are like and what they're
yeah,
doing and all that. We have to be inspired. And by watching each other, now that more of us are getting out there, I mean, you inspire me. So I watch you all the time. So this all helps, right? So as far as the muscle health though, let's get into like this whole protein thing. Like how much protein do you feel
yes,
women should really
yeah,
have?
yeah, yeah,
And let's talk about that.
yeah. Protein is the recommendations today are based on World War II recommendations.
Oh,
They
wow.
actually, I know, isn't that it's crazy because they actually did a study like how much protein, what's the least amount of protein our soldiers can eat and still stay viable and fight, stay healthy. And it was like 55 grams of protein for men, 45 for women, which is woefully low.
Yeah.
So for both. And so now the recommendation is at least 30 grams of protein per meal, which gives you about 90 grams of protein. Now, because I'm really focusing on building strength, I focus on eating my ideal body weight in protein grams. So for me, it's 130. So I shoot for 130 grams a day of protein. If I get anywhere between 100 and 130, I'm happy. But I do get closer to 130 than I do at 100. And you got to think about you got to become aware. That's the biggest thing. And then, but it's different for everybody. It depends on your size. It depends on your goals. But you definitely want, I'd say for women, at least 90 to 100 grams a day. And then include that muscle. Your protein feeds your muscles. Protein is so good for us. It's also good for our brain health, for our bone health. Protein is a great, it's got all the amino acids, the building blocks of our structure, and it's good for our hair, skin, and nails. Collagen. I mean, our body, collagen is protein as well. So we want to take advantage of protein as best we can. I do a mix of plant and animal proteins.
Yeah.
And so that makes it easier for me to reach my goals. But I know might be a little more challenging if you're vegan. And but you could do it too. You could.
Yeah. So
definitely.
because as I'm trying to increase my protein level, especially since my healing of my knee, I've struggled, and I've added smoothies, which helps a ton.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice a day just to get that protein in, right? What
Uh-huh.
is there like a way to count the A lot of women ask me, like, how do you,
Yeah.
monitor how much protein you're
Yeah.
getting? Like, do you have to read every little thing, or is there a shortcut hack? How do we keep track of our daily protein intake?
That's a great question. And here's a really simple way to do it. So I use a free app. It's called Fat Secret. There's
Wait,
also other free apps you can use,
wait,
My
wait,
Fitness
wait.
Pal.
I didn't hear
Yeah.
that, and I know nobody
Okay.
else did either. Say it again. Fat.
Okay. Fat, FAT, Secret, SECRET. It's white background with a green keyhole.
Okay.
Free app you can download. I started using that, and it tracks. You put your food in, and it's got almost every food you can think of. If it doesn't have something you're eating, you can actually input it, but it remembers. But you just track your food diary that day, and you input, and it beautifully breaks down your macros, your protein, fat, and carbohydrates, and also fiber, which is super important. Sugar. We don't want to go over 25 grams of added sugar daily, and also sodium, which is a good thing to know as well.
Right.
I love it because it gives you a summary at the end of the day. And I usually have my clients screenshot that and send it to me,
Yeah.
and just to see where you are, because it's just a great tool to see where you are. And even if you're not like focusing on what you're eating, use it just to see where you
Right.
are, because it gives you a good starting point.
Yep.
But it tracks during the day. So you can, as the day is going on, you can see, oh, I need more protein here, or, I can up my fat or my carb, whatever you can, to balance which macros you're trying to hit.
That's
So
a
it
great
really is
tip. I
helpful.
love that. Yeah, I haven't found an app that I like, so I'm definitely going to look at that. And all of you are listening, go check it out. Let us know how you guys like it, of course. And you keep bringing up macros, and I want you to just deep dive and just explain
Sure.
what are macros, why are they important,
Okay.
and we'll go from
Yeah,
there.
great question. Macronutrients, those are the macronutrients our body needs: fat, carbohydrates, and protein. So those are the three main. And you've heard of micronutrients probably. Those are like the vitamins and minerals, the smaller things that our body needs as well. But we really focus on the macros. A lot of times the macros contain the micros, except if you're doing ultra processed foods where the micronutrients have been taken out. So that's another benefit of eating whole foods, is that you take advantage of those micronutrients.
I love that.
So
Yeah,
macro,
simple.
yeah, yeah,
Proteins,
simple.
fats, carbohydrates. Just keep it simple,
Yep,
people, and just
yep,
understand. We just put another name on it just because it's trendy, but it's still
yeah,
protein and fat,
exactly.
carbohydrates. So that's wonderful. All right, before we run out of time, let's get into sleep, because so many women are not sleeping. Oh my goodness. I know
I
I
know.
get into these spurts still too, where I don't know, like I'm not sleeping well. I'm trying to figure it out. And then like, oh, I haven't done a good sleep hygiene, or getting
Yeah,
into a pattern. And we have a sleep expert that did a presentation. All of you go watch her. Annika is awesome. But when you put it together with the exercise and the gut health, what are you finding, Kim, is happening that women are not sleeping well?
well, that's a great question, because when you do hone in on your gut health and your strength, you sleep better. That will
Uh-huh.
help you sleep better. If you're struggling, I mean, our hormones get wacky after certain age. We're struggling with that. And a lot of women do struggle with sleep, waking up with hot flashes or night sweats, but trying to do all we can to set us up for a great sleep hygiene schedule, like you said, is key. So a few things I do that really help me is like having a consistent bedtime.
Yep.
That helps, because we're night owls. And so we're like, we got to make ourselves like, okay, we got to go to bed. But before that, I think one of the biggest things is getting off of our devices, because that blue light emits, and it doesn't allow the melatonin to come down. So the blue light is blocking that. So you can get blue blocker glasses at night as well. for all your devices. But getting off your device 90 minutes to 2 hours before you go to bed is huge. And just kind of put a little moratorium, just kind of a phone fast, if you will, for a
Love
while
that.
until the next day. Um, yeah, taking an Epsom salts bath is a good one. Having a cold pool room just will help you sleep. It helps your body calm down. When you take a hot bath or warm bath, you want to take it an hour and a half before you go to bed, not like right before you go to bed, because you want it actually elevates your temperature, but you want it to bring it back down too. But it does help with getting you in that sleep state. One thing I use that really helps me is magnesium glycinate. And I take that at night. I take 350 milligrams, which is the recommendation. That really helps. It helps with calming down, relaxation, actually helps with your brain health too. And I really like that as a tool. 80% of us are deficient in magnesium, so it's
Yeah.
not a bad thing to take. And I made my husband start taking it too, because he was struggling with his sleep. So it works for
And
both
it
of us.
helps your muscles too. It just helps your muscles relax and helps all
It
that
does.
and to
Yep.
sleep. That,
Yep.
yeah, and there's many different types of magnesium. Use what's good for you, but glycinate is a simple one that's great to
Yep.
use. So
Yes.
the magnesium at night, the Epsom salts an hour and a half or
Mhm.
two before bed, the cool
Mhm.
room, the having. So let's get real. The last thing we like to do at night is watch something, a movie or something on our laptop or on our phone. And
Right.
you're saying not to do that. So just reading books and just kind of like getting in the zone, right?
That's what I do. I read a book now and get my books. I have a lot of stack of books to read. So that's helping you get through my stack of books. So I love that. Reading an hour before I go to bed is just calming to me and helps me just kind of get you ready in that state, because there's no blue light. It's just you and a book, and that
Yeah.
helps. Another thing is a slow carb at dinner. Now, a slow carb would be like a sweet potato, brown rice, squash, something like that actually has been shown to help with sleep. So that's something to try as well. And then the last thing I want to mention is getting sunlight on your eyes as early the next morning as possible when you wake up, because what that does, that helps melatonin get the melatonin to go down, and then cortisol rises, of course, to help you wake up. And so it's just another thing to get sunlight on your eyes in
Yeah.
the
And
morning. And
I know
don't
you
think
don't
about
know the
that.
other speaker, but that you guys who are watching this week for the Women's Longevity Summit, you heard Annika say the exact same thing, the
Okay.
exact same thing. And she's been just focusing on sleep. That's her jam. So you see, all of us are saying the same thing because it works. So getting up in
Mhm.
the morning, even watching the sunrise in the evening is just something
Mhm.
to get that sunlight going is
Yeah.
so necessary. We need a good sleep. We do not want to wake up grumpy and tired and
Yes.
dragging through the day. That is not our jam. So listen, Kim, people are going to be like, hey, I need some help because there's a lot going on in my life and I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you do with women, your program. So
Yeah.
that those of you who are interested on here are like, hey, can I like kind of get in with Kim and see what she's doing? So Kim, explain what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I do a one-on-one coaching program where I help women with their nutrition, basically eating a low glycemic diet, which doesn't spike your blood sugars. It's I call it the happy hormone way to eat. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle, and it's not called anything like you said. It's like whole foods, and that are going to benefit us. But they focus on that, and then also strength training, and I customize a workout for you that you can do. And then also one-on-one coaching, helping you, guiding you through the things, helping you with whatever you're dealing with or stuck with, or how to do things better, things you can do to swap, just giving you good ideas that you can do, because I want you to make this your lifestyle. And then you don't need me anymore. You're going to be able to do all this on your own and get results. And I found that it, depending on, a lot of women want to lose weight, they want to lose belly fat, they want to feel better, they just want to fit in their clothes. I have a great 6-month program where I work with women and get you your results so that you can live, make the rest of your life the best of your life. Because I feel like that is that's key. We have a third of our lives left to go, and why not? We don't want to live it miserable.
A
We want to
third of
live
our
it.
life. Hear that? We have a third,
Yeah,
and we do not have to sit here and suffer. There's no reason.
yeah,
And you see, your program is this, everybody's saying the same thing. You can't just do this in a week, people. You know,
right,
taking a few supplements
right,
and whatnot, like they have on TikTok, Instagram, it's not going to work. And Dr.
right.
Google doesn't know diddly squat. You got to go to somebody like Kim who's going to hold you accountable, guide you, give you a customized program. You heard all that. I love that. And so, Kim, when they do that 6 months program, do they meet with you once a week, or how does that work as
Yeah.
far as touching base with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. The first month, especially, we meet once a week because getting you started, getting started on the ground, getting going, and just the things you deal with the first month. And then after that, we meet bi-weekly, so twice a month. But there's always weekly check-ins as well. And I'm there if you need me for an emergency, whatever you need to find out something, want to know about something, I'm there as well. But yeah, it's a great program. We had a lot of women have good success with it, that's what we want.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's what it
Give us an
entails.
example of some people you've worked with that started out
Yeah,
frustrated and then you
right.
work with them and they got some result. Give us some examples. Want to
Yeah, I
hear?
tell you, yeah, one of my clients, she was 58 and she had gone to the doctor and the doctor told her she was fat. And she was very, very offended by that. But anyway, she reached out to me and got her going on a great strength program and cleaned up her eating. She was used to having alcohol with her husband every evening. And so she was able to just limit that to once a week because alcohol stops your fat burning for 24 to 40 hours. So anyway, she lost 26 pounds actually in 4 months,
Wow.
and that's what she wanted to do. So she was one, and she's older. I had another lady who was a little older, 63, and she was a teacher and she was having issues with, just trying to lose weight, trying to make it happen. And she was able to lose 30 pounds in 5 months. And her husband bought her a whole new wardrobe at Christmas. She was so happy.
Oh
I
my
thought,
gosh.
nice hubby.
That's a very cool hobby. But even so, if you don't have a hobby like that, because certainly not everybody does,
You
you
can
could
buy
go
your, you
and
can buy
you
your
could do
own.
it yourself. Yeah, go get it
Yeah.
yourself. Go shopping. That's awesome. So it's not. I know it's you say it's weight loss, but I don't hear it's just weight loss. You're really talking about some lifestyle changes, showing
Yes.
them what to eat,
Yes.
and I love the exercise part. You do a customized exercise program is awesome because a lot of
Yep.
times women just don't know. And do you ever like sometimes get on Zoom with them to maybe show them or talk to them about how they're doing it?
Yes, absolutely. Especially women who've never gone to the gym before or never been to a class or weren't sure, then I do a tutorial with them
Wow.
and help them to learn the moves, learn form, because form is key. And so once they do that, then they're like, oh, I've got this. This is easier than I thought.
Right.
And and it's not made to be hard, it's made to be simple but effective. And
Yeah.
that's what I like.
I love that. Yeah. And that's what this is all about. It has to be simple so that we get results because we're tired of listening to people who just want to sell us a bunch of supplements. Because I've
Yep.
known about that. I never say, oh, just take all these supplements. It's not about that. You got to kind of
No.
implement lifestyle changes as we go along. And those of you guys who are on here listening, you could hear Kim is saying that it is a lifestyle, and once you have the habits and see how simple it is, you're like, it's a habit like brushing your teeth. We're good. Yeah, we're done it. Yeah, I love
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
it. Kim, thank you so much for being on here. Really, really appreciate your time. And those of you who are wanting to contact her, we'll have the link below. We'll get the information to you, or you could email my team directly, and we'll make sure we get you connected with Kim. Get you started. Get your midlife going. That's the whole thing Kim is all
Right.
about. So, Kim, thank you. I love your stuff. Keep doing those wonderful videos, and I'll be stalking you.
Okay. Thank you, Judy. I would really love this. Thank you.
Yeah.